Hi cuties! Welcome to another tag video, but this is the Fearless Writer tag, and I hadn't actually heard about this one, but I thought it was kind of interesting to talk a little bit about some things we don't normally talk about here on AuthorTube, and yeah, let's just talk about some uncomfortable things, because that's what we love to do on the internet. I'm sure. There are 10 questions in this tag, and let's just dive in to some things, and let's expose some things, shall we? So the question number 1 is called lie. What is the biggest fallacy you're telling yourself with writing and being a writer? So based on the 20 fallacies, the main fallacies, I think maybe false cause is the one that I do the most to myself. I give credit to something else leading to me not writing, rather than just being like, oh, it's me. It's me that's doing this. I can say, like, work keeps me away from writing, or, doing other things keeps me away. And while, yes, technically in time it does, but there's no reason that I couldn't come home from work and just work on writing, which I don't do usually because I am exhausted. There's false cause. Like, yes, I'm exhausted, but writing doesn't take as much effort or as much energy. I'll say it takes effort, but it doesn't take as much energy as I make it out to do, especially when I'm editing, because that's reading. With editing, I've just definitely been giving myself some excuses not to do it by coming up with other little tasks and things to do rather than edit my work. So probably false cause is of the fallacies. So I don't know if this was supposed to be interpreted very literally about the fallacies, but I had to study them in school, so y'all get the actual fallacies. Starting new. Does the first draft scare or motivate you? I think first draft motivates me. Especially beginnings, like I'm very into writing beginnings of stories. I get the flash fingers happening with it. I think it's once I get to the middle, that's when I start to flounder a bit. But I would say they motivate me more than anything. I'm always coming up with new ideas that I'm very excited about starting. And once I do get them started, I'm just like, let's go! I don't think they scare me. I think they do, in fact, motivate me. Roadblock. What's your number 1 obstacle stopping you from writing? Well, like I said, I could say because I work like 60 hours a week at my day job. That's a good contributor to it, but I've been in quarantine from my day job the last like almost 10 days, and I've not done writing really. So I'm gonna say myself and just making it so that I have other things to do and procrastinating on it when I really should be working on the writing. And I feel very guilty about not editing as fast as I should be. I'm making videos, I'm doing this stuff, and I need to work out a better balance where I dedicate time, which I'm trying to do at least before my quarantine ends and I go back to work. I can have a day, which I'm hoping is tomorrow from filming this video, that I can just sit and edit and do stuff there and edit as much as I can in one day and see if that A, motivates me to keep going, or B, just gets a bunch of it done. Me, I'm the roadblock. Reflect. How can you overcome the obstacle? Well, by not sucking. By making myself understand that there are the other things that I keep putting in front of it are not priorities, and videos also need to not be a priority, but I like making videos. I just need to be better about me in general. That's the truth. Perfection. How can you challenge yourself to get past the perfectionism procrastination trap? What I do find has been helping me is the streams. And I never used to be a big streamer or anything, but now when I sit down to write, I find that having other people in the stream or in the chat kind of keeps me accountable for what I'm doing. So if I'm alone, I don't have anybody to do that for me. It's just me, and I am not a good source of that for myself, as previously mentioned. But if I have other people who are also working on stuff, I find the motivation within our community helps me a lot. So there could be an argument that I'm, you know, we're so self-centered to stream all the time. But for me, it's literally accountability. I don't really care if, like, I get a huge audience. If I just have a few other people with me who need to also do stuff, we can motivate each other and build that kind of little mini community to boost one up or boost each other up and get things done that need to be done. So I definitely appreciate it. I appreciate when I get invited to other people's streams because they're like, I want to use your idea that you had, because I have a lot of different ways to accomplish different tasks, like my pulling them out of a hat, or rolling my dice, or pogs, you know, different fun ways to achieve tasks. And I really love it when people ask me to come join them, because it's very nice and sweet of them. Can't always do it, but I can now, because I'm currently in quarantine. Actually, by the time you see this video, I'm probably not in quarantine anymore, and I'm working myself to death. So, failure sucks. How can you grow from a failure? Oh boy, have I failed so many times. I fail all the time. I'm a failure of a human being for the most part, so there's that. But, I mean, you can always learn from mistakes as long as you're willing to take the criticism, constructive, hopefully. Don't focus on the ones that are not actually helpful. Especially right now, I am in an editing phase, which means, like, I'm looking at my work and seeing mistakes, and then I have an editor I'm sending it to, and I get notifications all day long of her changing, or suggesting this, suggesting that. I have my alpha readers who are, you know, catching continuity things, and they're like, I don't really understand why you did this. And it's like, at first, my instinct is to, like, shrivel up and die a little bit, but at the same time, it's like, okay, that's something I can work on. I need to, what they're saying is not to harm, what they're saying is to help, and understanding that, because A, not everyone is going to love your work. B, I have no B. Not everybody's going to love your work. And that's just a fact. So get over that, for one. It's difficult to get over that, but even with the people who do love your work, they're going to have criticisms of it. Those are the people you should listen to, because they want the best for your book. And because if they're enjoying it, they obviously want this to be a good book. So take that. Don't read all the reviews on Goodreads, especially really super negative ones. Don't read those. Rejection sucks too. How can you learn from rejection? Really the same thing. Here's the thing. I haven't actually fully been, like, rejected because I've never submitted my work. Well, no, I take that back. I have submitted a short story to an anthology and was rejected. And, like, I get it. Honestly, I wrote that story more for me and my family rather than an actual audience. And that was on me. Now, granted, they didn't give me a reason why it was rejected. So that didn't help. It was just a flat no. And I think that hurts more than, you know, giving a full reason as to what was wrong with the story that didn't fit. And, you know, there's that. So rejection almost can hurt worse than failure, because usually, like, with failure, you get more feedback, and rejection, it can just be, nope, sorry, bye. And that's just the truth of it. A lot of people, if you're submitting, like, query letters or to publishers, they don't got time to sit down and explain with you what you can do better. That's not their job. Their job is to either accept or deny. And if you're denied, that's it. Try again later. Figure it out yourself, which sucks. But not to let it fully destroy you, because, again, not everyone's going to love your book. There are super popular books out there I freaking hate and that people love. Take it or leave it. This is really, really building up the confidence as I'm talking about things that I suck at and failing and getting rejected and stuff. And I'm definitely proving the point that I get over things. Create action. How do you keep moving towards your goals? Well, I take a dice and I roll it and I see how long I work on a task. I've been trying to get more organized with planning. So I have my, like, quarterly planner now that Cat Leo Writing has on her Etsy shop. I do little goal things in progress and kind of just try to make time each day for something. So I am a kind of a goal-oriented person. I like checking things off or crossing things off a list. I honestly think the reason that I keep going forward is because I have support from other people. Not necessarily the same kind of support others will get. Like I said before with the streams, like having that support helps me continue forward because we're all talking about our work and we're all getting excited about each other's work. That helps me a great deal in motivating me. The locus of my identity is external. As I've said before, that is a quote. I definitely feed off of other people's definitely positive feedback, but also constructive feedback, but more so the positive. I mean, who doesn't like being praised? Okay. Even if you're like, it makes me uncomfortable, deep down you're like, that was really nice. And I'm that way where it's like you praise me for something and I'm like, thanks, that's a lie, but thank you. Those kinds of things make me very, very happy and motivate me to keep going. If I got silent, I think silence is the worst. Silence when someone is explaining their own work or passion, that is the worst thing that one can receive, and that's very demotivating. Or if somebody shuts you down while you're enjoying talking about it, those are the most demotivating things. So finding the community to build you up rather than bring you down is what keeps me motivated. New year, new outlook. If fear wasn't holding you back, what would you be doing right now to further your writing dreams? Editing, probably. Also researching agents to query to, because that is something I plan to do this year, is to query for my book Histocac, and I should be doing that. I really, really should be researching that, but also I really should be editing and saving money to pay my editor. I've paid her for one chapter so far, and that was hefty. So on that note, check out my Ko-fi page and support me as a content creator. It'd be really nice if you did. Yeah, but just doing the work instead of making videos would probably help me. Last question. Leap of faith. What is one thing you plan to do this year even though it scares you? Query, like I was just talking about. Query is terrifying. I am so scared to put myself out there because I've never done this before. Yes, I have a published series, but that was all me. That was just me doing it. I'm indie published. That's just my little tiny thing, being impatient and wanting to do it. And this time I want to see if I can do it. I want to see if I can query and get an agent and submit it to publishers. I don't know how the publishing world is going to look right now because there's been a lot of changes and weird things happening with it, but I'm going to do it. I'm scared to do it, but I'm going to query. There we go. That is the fearless writer tag. I think I just exposed more fears than me being fearless though. So there you go. I would love to see other people do this tag. I think it's a very honest and slightly uplifting. It's scary to do the tag. So that's why I'm not going to tag anyone to do it, because some of this can get really uncomfortable and I don't want to put pressure on anybody to do that to themselves. However, if you wish to be tagged, you are tagged by me. You can say that in your video that I specifically tagged you. So there you go. You don't have to if you don't want to. Leave any questions down below in the comments or on Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter. Check out my Ko-fi page and you can support me as a starving author and supply me with plentiful hot chocolate. It's not Patreon. For those of you who don't know what Ko-fi is, it's not Patreon. There is no subscription to it. It's just a one-time thing. If you're like, hey, this was a good video, I'm gonna give her $3 to say good job. But there's also other things you can do on there. You can commission, and there's a lot of other fun things on my Ko-fi page that I rarely update, but should update more. That's another thing I need to do. So, yes. I'm going to stop talking and being super awkward and hitting my cord, which is causing a light thing to happen. So that's fun. Okay. Bye, cutie. Just too much of a diverse thought brain thing. I don't know where I'm going with this. What am I talking about? I don't know.